Hello and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from everybody at the Triple Valve 62, the Depot channel. Thank you very much from my family to your family. I hope you had a great Christmas and an even better and healthier 2017 for everybody. So I think we all need a better year this year, definitely. Anyways guys, hope you had a great Christmas, and for me Christmas brings many great things, and one of the things I'm excited to show you is what I got for Christmas in terms of model railway products. And there's going to be two reviews, so I'm going to do two videos, one separately from each other, and this will be the first of two videos I'm going to upload. So the first one is an unboxing review and the second one's going to be the same, but I'm really excited to reveal to you a brand new loco that joins the stud at Bentley Park, my Great Eastern themed layout. So without further ado, like I said, it's Great Eastern themed, so to me this was a must for my collection, and I did ask this for Christmas and I was very overjoyed to get it. So here it is, the first of my Christmas gifts, or out of the two I got. It's one of these. It's a Hornby J15. Oh, look at that, she's gorgeous. She is absolutely fab. And the boxing is great, it's nicely compact, nice picture on the front, and if we reverse her this way, there's a nice little bit of information on the back about the J15. A nice little schematic drawing as well, which is quite nice. I love these drawings, by the way, because they add a sense of depth and realism to how the thing was made and put together, right from the blueprints to the full scale thing. There's a bit of an interesting print error on the back of this. I'm not sure if it is, or if anyone's noticed if you've got one of these, but it says on there, it says do not scale. I'm sure that should say not to scale. I'm pretty sure that shouldn't say do not scale. I've no idea why that's printed on there, but it might be a type error. But anyways, the great thing about this box is it's got a lot of information on there, and what I like about it, again with Hornby, and Backman do it as well, is that there's nice little bit of history in the back here. So for any of you younger people out there that have just joined the hobby and have got maybe a locomotive for Christmas or a train set or something model railway related in terms of running, it's nice when you get something with a bit of history. It educates you about what you've bought and about the full size real thing, and that to me is always valuable because it teaches you about what it was like in real life, what railway it worked on, what line it worked on, and the type of train it was capable of pulling. So it gives you a little bit of a rundown and history about the locomotive that you just bought. I love this little story behind the loco sort of thing. So to me, that I always love stuff like that. So 10 out of 10 for the history thing from Hornby. Anyways, flipping it over, as you can see, it's got a nice top shot of the box of the loco inside. But as you know, I don't do box reviews, so I'm just going to slide this out the box and let's have a look. So it's quite easy to do. It's a nice slide sleeve that we just very carefully just slide out, and here she is in the box. Oh, look at that. That is really nice. Let me zoom in and give you guys a better look in the box. I'm going to take her out the box shortly, but as you can see, she's nicely held in there, and it's nice and tightly packed, so it will survive the odd little knock, but it's not advisable obviously to drop it on the floor, but it's well and truly tightly packed in there, so it's not going to get damaged. And there's quite a few, as you'll see in a minute, fine detail parts on this. So what I'm going to do, I'll just pause this slightly. You can go and get a cup of tea or coffee or beverage of your choice, and I'll be back with her out the box so we can have a little look at this beautiful little loco. See you in a moment. Okay, hi, welcome back to part two. As you can see, we've got it out of the box here, and she's just ready to unbox properly and have a look at. So before we actually take her out the protective packaging there, I just want to briefly go through this piece of paper that you get with the loco, your J15 in this example. This may seem really boring and uninteresting, but it is actually very important. It tells you how to maintain your locomotive, how to keep it clean in terms of wheels, keep your track clean, good electrical connections, and also a little bit about DCC fitting of a chip into the locomotive bodywork itself. But more importantly, why we don't want to throw it away and keep it handy away somewhere safe is because it tells you all the important parts of the loco, where to lubricate and apply your oil. And they've quite handily put some red coloured indications on where it goes, so you can't go wrong. Now they're highlighted in red on the black and white drawing. You'll see these bright red marks. That indicates where you put your oil either side of your axles. If you're not sure how to do this by yourself, it is quite simple to do, but if you're not confident or not sure how to do it properly, then get an adult to help you with this, or even take it along to your local model railway shop if you have one near you, and they will gladly do it for you free of charge. I'm pretty sure they will. If not, then you need to look how to do this yourself, but it is quite simple to do and you can do it with confidence. So that's important to know, how to put your lubrication on there. Separately fitted super detail items that shows you where to attach them. Mine came with some of these permanently fitted anyway, so I'm guessing in the factory they might have fitted those for me, but there are some details that you fit on yourself with a little bit of super glue very carefully, and also a bit on DCC where you put the chip and so forth. Anyway, that's the uninteresting part out the window, so we chuck that over there, we don't need that. Let's have a look at this beastie, because she is absolutely lovely. Now when you lift these out of the containers, always lift together with two hands in one movement, because these particular locos are joined permanently together between the tender and the loco with a plug and pin system underneath that runs from the loco to the tender and ensures not only good connectivity between the two on the track, but also if you're going to fit a DCC chip in a tender, that ensures that there's good reception and connection as well. So all you do is very carefully unclip the moulded end. It's a little bit tight, just lift it up like that, carefully unhinge it, and then with two hands, I normally handle it about the chassis area, because this one's got a die-cast chassis which gives it weight obviously and is nice, and there's no detail that much on there to break off, so that's a good place to handle it from. About the same area, roughly the middle of the tender body, lift up together in one movement and then down onto your flat surface. So let's put that aside, out the way. Right, there she is. Oh, look at that, what a beastie. She's lovely. Let me just take the camera off the tripod, apologies, and we'll go down at eye level for a closer inspection. And one of the things you'll notice, or I noticed about when I got this Christmas Day, I'd seen it in Hatton's catalogue, but hadn't really obviously seen it in up and close like this. And the first thing that struck me was the amount of detail on this little thing. It's really, really nice. We start off from the smoke box end, and the first thing that I noticed about was these rivets. As you can see, I've got my faithful spotlight above it, and you can see these rivets picked out really nicely. Moving around to the front of the smoke box, you've got the loco number 65475 nicely on there. The smoke box dart is a separate casting, as you can see on there. These nice lamp iron brackets on the front. Buffers are sprung, and you've got a NEM pocket coupling right underneath the buffer there, so should you wish to fit your NEM pocket coupling, which is one of those that you do get supplied with it, you can fit it in there. And the way they've done the vacuum pipes is really nice actually, because it doesn't interfere or obstruct the coupling, so when you put that coupling on there you can quite happily run tender first or shunt with it with confidence, and it's not going to break off anything on here or cause any derailments. But the front's really nice, and if we look at the front, what I like about this, it's really Great Eastern and goes perfect with my layout. 31A. Now my layout is Great Eastern themed, set in 1962 onwards, so it's coming towards the end of steam, the last year or so of steam operation, and it's going over to the green diesels, and there's a few steam left about on my layout, and it's actually based on a real place, Bentley, which is up in the Cambridge area and the Cambridge territory of the Great Eastern, and it's a fictitious sleepy little country town village in that area. And I think 31A is quite an appropriate shed plate, even though me personally, I'm a 30A man, Stratford shed, born and bred in a little town called Leytonstone in East London, and Stratford was just down the road from me, and there's a lot of family connection to Stratford. Loco works. My great uncle was a draftsman, and he used to do all the technical drawings for the steam locos when they assembled them at Stratford in the steam days, and then when they came over to diesel in about 59, 60, he retired. But he was on the steam, and my grandfather's father was a shunter and also station master at Tottenham House Station back in the day. And then there's me, who did 19 years on the full-size railway, and some of my territory used to be on the Great Eastern. So anyway, looking at the loco, so I'm sure you don't want to hear about my boring family history. Looking at the loco there on the front, as I say, we've got some nice detail there. One of the things I like, you guys, about this loco, why I chose it, it's got a lot of damn character. Look at this chimney, I love it. Just look at this beautiful, tall, proud chimney on it. It gives it a bit of a character, I think, definitely. And it really makes it pop and stand out to life, I think. Moving down the loco, you've got some nice detail here. These handrails, by the way, are separately fitted, and they are on there, but again, please don't handle your loco like that, what some people do, because you'll end up bending these and pulling them out the sockets. Don't do that. Always handle it from that area there carefully. And you've got some detail here, as we mentioned, some valve and pipe work there. Moving down onwards towards the cab, you've got the safety valves here and the nice whistle which is there. Looking at the front of these cab windows, they're really nice. These nice circular windows, they're very Victorian. Exactly right for this loco. And even the cab roof, you've got this nice rivet detail that stands out as well. That's quite nice. The numbering, as well as the paintwork on this loco, the actual numbers and letters applied are nice and crisp. You wouldn't expect nothing less from Hornby these days. This is the kind of standard you're going to get when you buy a loco from Hornby. Unlike the old days where they were very poorly applied and just the whole thing wasn't very model railway orientated. It was more of a toy than an actual a model. And this is really beautiful. And if you notice with the eye, as we move down with the camera down to here, underneath the cab steps you've got this replicated pipework, brass pipework that comes underneath the cab bottom step up into the loco. That's nice. These nice little solid drive wheels, beautifully finished there and turned. Sand pipes there, as you can see on the front wheel there. The brake shoes on each wheel, and if we look underneath there, you can just about make out the separate brake rigging that you fit yourself. Again, we'll turn the loco on its side afterwards and you can have a look underneath, see what is going on underneath there. But look at this, there's some detail here as well in that area. Everywhere you look with the eye on this loco, you always find something. These washout plugs there, look, you got those there. They're done quite nice. And moving down towards the tender is really nothing else. You wouldn't expect anything more from Hornby. Perfect in detail. So these are nice springs. I've chosen on my model the early line and wheel emblem. It's quite a bit of detail, as you can see on the tender. Your handrails, handbrake, everything on there. The coal on top actually is quite nice. I'm not going to touch this. Whether this is permanently fixed or not, I haven't explored it yet, but I think I would leave that as it is, because it is quite nice. And it's just about the right amount for a tender this size. What I like about the tender as well is this typical Great Eastern curved sort of finish on there, on the high sides of the tender. if we turn it around this way carefully, and we can look at the back of the loco. Again, it's just got this nice curved appearance around there, for example. It really is nice. And looking at the rear of 10, there's some detail that you do fit yourself. These guide irons, one there, that are painted in red, either side of the coupling, that hang down there. Apparently they're fitted separately, but when I got this model from Hatton's, these were already on there. So whether they were fitted on the factory, I don't know, but it saves me a job. So all I had to do really was fit the vacuum pipe there, and that was it. And that was it, job done. So looking at the cab, let's just turn this loco around carefully using my spotlight above, and that way we can get a more better shot inside the cab. Here we go. Look at that. That is absolutely spectacular. Oop. That's lovely, isn't it? You can see you've got the regulator there, big silver regulator. Then to the left of that, you've got obviously the injectors and all the different valves and controls in there. Oops, apologies. And that red wheel, I would imagine, would be the reverser. And it actually is, because if we come out a little bit, and you can see it corresponds with the reversing rod down the side, so that's the reverser. And then also that looks like you've got a Westinghouse pump there, which is great. Again, you've got some washout plugs there, even above that, some detail there, and it really is a very highly detailed loco, and it's just really nice to buy something ready to run like this. You've got this nice cab step plate that goes slightly over, which makes the loco look nice and close coupled together, even though it isn't. And like I said, I'm going to do a running video on this, by the way, to show you running in action on the layout. And I'll prove a point, because not only have I got some tight curves on my layout, I've got lots of stuff in the forefoot. I've got TPO operated equipment, and I've also got some LUL fourth rails. Thank you, police car or ambulance, whatever that was gone by. So I've got a lot of additional stuff in between the rails and my layout in terms of super detailed stuff, and she runs quite happily around it and over it, no problems whatsoever. And you'll see that from the video when I do a running video of her running in action on the layout. So as mentioned, I'm just going to gently turn her over and put her on her side very carefully, and you can see what's underneath. Right, so the reason I've done this is to show you a couple of things. Firstly, you get the tender brake rigging, which fits like that, as you can see. Let me bring the camera in a bit better so you can see for yourselves. That's better, isn't it? There we go. Oh, pardon me. And you can see it's quite simple to attach. Normally when you get these locos and you get this kind of super detail, you'll notice there's two little pegs or pins or holes either side of the brake shoes, and all you do, you clip the pegs of the brake rigging. What I normally do is I put one side on first, so I get that and the M1 clipped in on this side, or clipped in first, glue them in position with a tiny bit of super glue, won't let it dry, and then you can attack this side and just gently bend them out a little bit and sit them in the holes all the way along. It's quite simple to do. Again, if you're not sure how to do this, get an adult or grown up, or even your local model shop, I'm pretty sure would do this for you. And it's the same principle down this end on the main loco. You just get a single bit of brake rigging, which is nice. It runs all the way up there, oops, to the top. Same principle. I normally get one side in first, start on on this side, for example, get them seated in the holes, bit of super glue on each pin, let it dry, and then just reseat or seat the ones on the opposite side. Carefully just push them into place with a pair of tweezers. Not too hard to do, and it does give that extra bit of super detail. I don't know why Hornby came up with the idea of putting separately fitted brake rig into the locos, because most of the time when they're running about the layout, we don't see the underneath. Unless we've all got glass bottomed layouts, we don't actually see what's going on underneath. But they are a nice addition if they're on a display shelf and you are handling them, or you do look at them from a bottom eye view, bending down and looking at your locos running around. You can make out the detail underneath, and they are quite nice. And also the other couple of things I want to talk to you about before we finish is, again, this permanently coupled area between the loco and the tender. It's a pin and plug system. As you can see, there's the plug that goes into the pin system there, that white plug, and it's got some wires that go from it into the tender, and actually this area here is the motor underneath here. That little raised hump is where a gear wheel sits, and that obviously drives this wheel and then drives the rest of it via the drive rods. But what you don't want to do, guys, is lift up the tender or the loco separately when handling it on the track or off the track or in the box. Pick it up together as one fluid movement, because what you'll do is that will damage these wires and also damage you put stress on this bar, snap it or bend it, and you'll just basically misalign it, and it'll create all sorts of problems. The other thing, as we were talking about at the beginning of the video, was lubrication. Again, it's quite simple to do. There's my little pointy device. just put a dab there where you can see the axles there, the shiny bit poking out the axle housing there. You dab on there, dab on there, dab on there, repeat the other side, and then when you come down underneath the loco, exactly the same procedure. You do dab there, dab there, dab there on the other axle inside, drop it down and put one on the axle there, one on the axle there, and one on the axle there, and then put a dab there on the screw, dab there, and a little tiny bit on that separate little pin there, and just repeat it the other side. What I normally do, you don't have to do this, but just to finish off the video, I always put a tiny little amount of oil just where the head of that screw meets this drawbar plate, because don't forget, it's moving left and right all the time across point work and around curves. So even though it's quite smooth anyway, I always try and give it a little bit of more of a flexibility by putting a tiny bit of oil, not too much, just a very sparingly around there, not even so you can see it, just a very thin amount, and that way it just keeps things happy. It just makes it tick over nicely. So there we are, and if I turn her, before I turn her over, you can just see the detail also on these tender side frames, for example, and as you can see, she's really detailed. So let's put her back up right side carefully like that, and there we go, guys. There is my Hornby J15 Great Eastern loco, and like I said, on my layout recently I've put in LT fourth rails, so she does look the part. She could be on loan from Stratford Shed 30A, currently going up to Epping for the coal trains via Leighton Junction, and she is really a lovely loco. And like I said, I'm going to do a running video of this, so it will speak louder than words. Anyways, once again, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year's to you, and I hope you stick around for the next video I upload, and you'll see what else I've got in store. Meantime, if you're going to think about getting one of these locos, I would strongly suggest you get one of these. Whether you're into the Great Eastern scene or you just like the look of this loco, I would highly recommend this loco. Definitely for performance wise, which is nice and geared and very slow running. In terms of shunting and performance, she's fantastic. You'll see the video. And also appearance wise, super detail wise, finish wise, I'd give this loco 10 out of 10 in every single aspect. She gets a thumbs up from me, and she is a welcome addition to my layout. So there we go. It's time to make up your mind whether you want one of these or not. Anyways, if you checked out the video today simply because you weren't sure about what the loco was like, or you want a closer look at it out the box, I hope I've achieved that for you today. And take care, and we'll see you soon at the depot.